This one's for you, Mrs. Richardson.
And now it's time for Blast to the Past.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Blast to the Past. On today's Christmas special, we will be interviewing 5 important people who helped shape our Catholic faith. Now let's give it up for Mary and Joseph.
Yeah! Woo!
Hello, thank you so much for coming today. We are just going to ask you a few quick questions.
Sounds wonderful.
Now Mary, how did it feel to carry God's child?
To be honest, I was scared at first, but overjoyed by the presence of God. I didn't know what to do at first, but I knew it was the will of God and His prophecy must be fulfilled.
Joseph, how did you feel about this whole thing?
Actually, I wasn't very fond of the idea at the beginning, to be quite honest with you all. I tried to secretly break off the engagement, but like Mary said, it was God's will and I have to stay faithful to the Lord at all times, no matter what the task. I learned to believe and trust in the Lord, and I'm glad with my decision.
Now this one is for you, Mary. Can you describe your visit with Elizabeth?
Well, my visit was wonderful. At the time, Elizabeth was also pregnant with baby John, and it was absolutely wonderful to be there with her, and she made me feel more confident in my decision to carry God's child.
Can you describe John's birth?
When baby John was born, Elizabeth immediately decided to name him John, and the women in the village didn't agree. However, it was a miracle baby, because as you know, Zachariah could not speak, and when Elizabeth spoke of the name, he could. It was truly a wonderful thing.
Joseph, we know your journey was an easy one, but we would like to know your point of view of the long journey to Bethlehem.
Well, you know, it was no surprise the journey was tough after all. We were on foot, we didn't know what to expect, and we all knew we were fulfilling Mary's promise to God. We had to have the baby in Bethlehem because there was a census to count all the people of Israel. Yeah.
Mary, can you describe Jesus' birth for us all?
Well, there wasn't any room in the inn for us to stay, so we unfortunately we stayed in the stable and had baby Jesus during the night. Many people gathered in praise of the Lord as I gave birth to Jesus. He was given many gifts, and like any mother would say, it was wonderful.
Were there any angels in your experience of carrying God's child?
Yes, actually Angel Gabriel came to me to give me the news that I was going to carry God's child. And there were many angels in the stable watching over me and my family as I was pregnant.
Now let's give them a round of applause.
Yeah! Woo!
Thank you all so much for coming. Okay. Now let's give it up for the 3 wise men.
Hello!
Hello!
Can you wise guys tell us about King Herod?
Got Santa Claus.
King Herod was a cruel, greedy man who was always jealous of Jesus because he felt he would take his power. After all, Jesus must have been special. We followed a star to find him.
Yeah,
He was always in a bad mood, you could say.
he was.
Oh yes, wise man number 2. Why did you guys follow the star?
When we heard a new king was to be born, we instantly were engaged in the situation. I felt the need to seek the king and bring not only gifts, but special gifts. We knew we had a task to see the birth of the new Messiah, and boy, it was worth it.
It was. I would say so.
Well, obviously you guys are known for following the star, but it sure is great to hear how you guys took baby Jesus' birth under such perspective.
Yeah.
All right, here, 3-5 for that one.
Mom.
Pounded. No, you got pounded. Yeah. That's what we did.
Our next question will be for wise men 3. What did it feel like to be a part of this?
It was great in many, many ways. is hard to describe the feeling we felt that night.
It was quite a feeling.
It was a feeling of understanding and God and joy. After all, we were standing right in the presence of the birth of our Messiah. It doesn't get better than this.
Everybody knows this story of the birth of Jesus, but only an expert like you three can understand the full genealogy of Jesus.
Yep.
Well, everybody knows it has to start out with Jesus' family.
One love.
Of course, Joseph's father was Jacob, and his father was Nathan. And then, of course, his father was Elisa, and so on. All the way back to the start, we have David, and then even further, Abraham. And of course, Jesus' mother was Mary, the mother of God. And her father was Heli, or Eli.
Or jelly. It rhymes.
Well, that is it for our Christmas special. Thank you all for coming, and don't forget to tune in next week. Cut.
Yeah, you gotta cut that
Oh
out.
my God, it's hot in these beers. Now I know why Ronnie didn't like all those tapes.
Cut.
All right,
That's a
Andrew,
wrap.
Andrew, you gotta give Mrs. Richardson a message. I don't know why.
It's good. You're not gonna vote? Sure. Small.
Like, hope you did.
Alyssa, you want chocolate milk?
And now, blast to the past.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Blast to the Past. Today, on this Christmas special, we will be interviewing 5 important people who helped shape our Catholic faith. Now let's give it up for Mary and Joseph! Woo!
Yeah, woo!
Joseph, hello, thank you so much for coming today. We are just going to ask you a few quick questions about your experience with God.
Sounds wonderful.
So Mary, how did it feel to carry God's child?
To be honest, I was scared at first, but overjoyed by the presence of